Choose your character.
All right. Welcome back to the Geek Set Podcast, the only podcast that blend hip hop culture and geek culture together. I'm your boy Deuces, and this is 1-on-1 with Deuces, the place where I speak with creators, curators, and people that you should know. And right now, I told y'all this season, I'm only talking to legends. I'm speaking with living legends, and I got the man, the myth, the legend himself, Cedric Yarbrough. How are you doing, brother?
Really, really great, bro. And feeling real old. You calling me a legend is well. I'll let y'all speak, but thank you very much for having me on this, man. This is great. This is really, really cool.
Yeah, I said living legend, so that means that you're still living, you're still doing it.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely still here. Yeah, I'm definitely still here. Legendary, I don't know about that, but we do okay. We hang in.
Well, one of the things that I make sure that we do on our podcast is that we make sure we give people their flowers, and you have been so important to the culture, just in general, with what you did with Reno 911, what you did with Curb, Black Dynamite, the Boondocks, Speechless. Like it's just so much stuff that you are a part of that like we directly identify with, and that like you've been a part of so many shows that not only shape like the narrative on like things that are going on or like was a voice for us, but like you were part of so many shows that also gave compelling conversations, but then also just gave us countless comedic entertainment with your work. So, again, like I said, we talked about it in pre, but I wanted to kind of just let you know, on camera. And it's funny because like when I do these interviews, I always put like, hey, you have an opportunity to ask my guests some questions. And, what the funny thing is, like this season, I've been having like some really dope legends, and everybody they're like, I don't really have a question. I just want you to tell them thank you for what they gave us. So from my people and everything, again, I know it's getting redundant, but again, thank you, man, for everything that you gave us, man, because we want to make sure that you know that you're loved and that your work is appreciated.
Bro, I appreciate that. That's so very nice. So you related to my mom? I mean, that's.
She called me before. She said,
"Are you a Yarbrough?" Yeah, these families. I don't know. Family hasn't even said that nice of things to me. But I appreciate that. That's a really nice intro and really nice thing to say. A lot of this stuff, sometimes you feel like you're working in a vacuum. And I come from live theater. I come from performing in front of an audience, so you hear or feel how people are enjoying what you do at the moment, or they let you know right then and there. You can tell. So some of this, with film work, you'll work on a project and maybe the thing won't come out for a long time, and even still, especially if you stay off the internet like I usually try to do. I don't like to hear any comments or even really like to see a lot of the stuff that I do. So hearing that, it's really nice. I'm very, very picky with what I like to do. I've always wanted to be able to do things that, I come from a lot of snobby, funny people. When I was coming up in my theater community, we just had a real snobby attitude about things that we didn't think were funny. This is good. This is great. And so I feel like I'm still doing a lot of things to impress my snobby peers. I'm still trying to make them laugh, still feel like that the stuff that I do that hopefully they think is cool. So I've always been very choosy with a lot of the projects that I do. And so if I do something, and if the film or project is a little wonky, I want you still to know, okay, but Cedric's there. So I know I can depend on this dude. I know he's going to make me laugh, or I know I'm going to feel something about a way because he's in it. Yeah, that's how I've always, kind of judged my career and projects that I've chosen.
That's dope, man. And like it's funny because like as I start doing research, when I get my guests and as I start learning, and one of the biggest things that I learned, I think I got introduced to you just through like TV shows and everything like that. So to kind of find out that like you are active in the improv world, I was like, oh, it makes sense. And then seeing like your collective of the Black version, like that group, just amazing talent all through it. Just you, Phil Lamar, Gary Anthony Williams, like Daniel Gallagher, like I'll leave it out somebody.
Jordan Black, Naima Funk. And if you don't mind, I'll explain what that is. The Black version, I'm out here in Los Angeles and at the Groundlings Theater. It's an amazing theater for sketch and improv actors and writers. And a lot of people have come out of there. Will Ferrell, Kristen Wiig, Pee Wee Herman, a lot of SNL people, and a lot of people that aren't SNL related, but comedic, just great comedic minds have come out of this theater. And so we have a show that we presently do called the Black Version Show, and it's made up of a whole Black cast. As you said, Gary Anthony Williams, Phil Lamar, Jordan Black, Danielle Gaither, and Naima Funk, and myself. And what we do is we get a movie title from the audience. They'll shout out a movie, Silence of the Lambs, or Titanic, or any very popular, iconic film. And then we improvise the Black version of that movie. And so, yes, coming from from that improv world is so much fun. We have such a great time. And that really directly helps me with my, on camera stuff, because that kind of level of work is extremely hard. It is hard. It's fun, but it's crazy. You're off the dome. So when someone hands you a script and gives you lines to read, it's nothing compared to what I have to do and deal with Phil Lamar, messing around.
I can imagine, because like one of my favorite clips, like as much as I love the Boondocks, I love watching like the behind the scenes and seeing Williams go back and forth, like, and then I love how y'all commit to just like, all right, if we doing this, we doing this. Like it's like you can tell this true friendship, but in the moment of that bit of improv, I'm like, oh yeah, you can tell like soon as they seen each other and they figure out, oh, we doing this, like we can tell bouncing off, but it was just such gold. And then to see like even future things that y'all did, even just random sketches that pop up on the internet or random sketches that pop up on this show, I was like, yo, these two together are hilarious in ways.
Gary's my boy. He's he's probably the funniest human in the world, man. He's a genius. And but we liked each other right away, and we do bits every day. But he's one of those guys that has helped me in my career. When someone is as funny as Gary is, you see that and you say, you know what, comedy is no holds barred. I can be as funny as I possibly can. That gives me permission to go, I can go as far as I want, because that's what comedy is. It's pushing those boundaries, being able to tiptoe a little bit, but particularly with Gary and I, we have a really good time, and doing the Boondocks together with Gary was fantastic. It was real fun, man.
And I know you always get. I mean, I know it's supposed to be coming back and everything. But the one thing about the Boondocks, and I think why it was so culturally important, is probably the same reason why people love South Park. Like, till this day, there still hasn't been a show that captures like social commentary on what Black folks are saying about the world. And I think that, I get it, I'm saying, with knowing what everything that happened behind the scenes and everything, and why, it took its hiatus and everything. But I think that like the love for it is not only just because of the good entertainment, it's just because like, yeah, you saw the Boondocks was perfect. It gave you like, let's say it gave you the nigga side, but then it gave you the introspective side, right? In one episode. And that's what I loved about the Boondocks so much is like now, and then it's funny because like every time you think about things that are happening in the world today, you can tie it back to, oh man, I wonder what Tom DuBois would have said on this, or I wonder how think man would have replied to this, or I bet you Huey and Riley would have had a field day with this. Like it's like you start thinking about that, and that's what we miss so much, and that's why I think it's had such a cult following. People are like I know like people see you on the street, that's probably the first question they ask you. Hey man, when Boondocks coming back?
Black folk for sure. Black folk. It's pretty amazing. I mean, someone was comparing the Boondocks to a lot of some of the amazing Black comedies that have come out. They were putting it up with Good Times and Jeffersons and this animated series. That's not for me to judge, but for someone to say that to me was really cool and really iconic. While you're doing it, you're just feeling it. You're enjoying what you're doing. You get this great material that Aaron Magruder has written and Rodney Barnes has written, and they care so much about the project, which makes you care about the project. And they've surrounded us with amazing cast. Regina King, so brilliant. The late great John Witherspoon, was fantastic. Gary's killing it. And Magruder and Carl Jones, they're giving us the permission to go there. They're like, yes, improvise. We'll do the script, but fuck around. Do you? Let's see what you got. And that was that gave that show the heartbeat. The heart of it. That it wasn't just a written show with with Black minds. It's also a written show with Black hearts in there as well. So a phenomenal show. I hate to say this, but I out of the show, is right now not coming back. I don't know if this is breaking news, but we've been wanting to do the show, and Sony and it's they decided that they're going to pull the plug. So I don't know if hopefully maybe one day we'll be able to revisit it. If we don't, then that's what that is. But yeah, I wish the show was coming back, but
Yeah, I know. Yeah. And I never want to put an actor in any type of compromising situation. So I wasn't going to ask about the future one because I know, it can.
Well, I think we should address it. Yeah. I think we should know, it's a show that I really love. I care for. I think, not to take anything from Magruder. I mean, he's done an amazing, the scripts that we were looking at were so damn funny. Really good. We had already started to record, and some of the people in their infinite wisdom did pull the plug. But you never know if we'll revisit it again. If not, that what we have said, and what is out there, that's evergreen. That's out there forever, and so people will always be able to check those out, those old episodes.
What I really love, so I had the great opportunity to interview Carl Jones and Gary Anthony Williams on here.
Okay.
So I got insight, and one of the things that they told me, and then it's funny because you had recently told this story on Twitter. They told me that was like Aaron Magruder and like they did give that like, okay, we're gonna do it how it's written, but then let's do this other take, right? And so like you were talking about on Twitter, and you was talking about the Usher song and how that like this was not supposed to be the take, but like it was so dope. But I think like because it was Tom DuBois, and then even like the part where it goes, "It's so many days," like that part, I laughed probably the loudest I ever laughed so much when he was saying "Let It Burn," because it was just like that was perfectly Tom DuBois in that moment. neck, but still like going through and still being himself. And then the fact that you said that you met Usher and then he was cool about it. Like, do you remember anything from that interaction?
Well, yes. First of all, yes, singing the Usher song, "Let It Burn." You know, they promised me I was gonna get a couple of takes, and they're like, "This is gonna be the scratch track. Just go ahead and mess around." Man, they never let me come back and they never let me record that thing over again. So, it's out there forever, which is fun. But, I'm like, I could have sung worse than that. Let me get my shot. Let me let me try to do it worse. But anyway, but yeah, this is funny. Me and Magruder, we were hanging out, and we go to this party up in the hills in Hollywood, and all kinds of folks are up in there, man. It's jumping. People, remember, what's that video? Like, it's like a Biggie video. What is it? One More Chance, where everyone's there, like Total and like Craig Matt, like they, everybody's in this party, and so we're there, and then Usher is there, and Aaron and Usher lock eyes. And Usher grabs Aaron, and he's just kind of playfully shaking with him and looking at him like, "Come on, brah." And then he gives me a pound, and he's like, "Dude, that was really funny." That Usher episode is hysterical. And Afion Crockett, shout out to Afion Crockett, because he voiced Usher in that episode.
And to y'all defense, Usher actually was in a good light. Like y'all, I mean, y'all went hard at some people. Usher,
yeah. No, Usher didn't get it as worse as we could. He did get slapped,
but he didn't take it lightly. He was like,
no, he did get slapped, and he did go, "Oh!" But but Usher, yeah, he looked pretty cool in the episode overall. No, the way that we went at people, Usher came out real good right there.
So you brought up Craig Mack, Biggie, and things like that. Now I know that you're a huge Prince fan. Who are you hip hop wise? Like who are you fans of hip hop wise? Because I don't think I knew that.
Yeah, I'm a big Tribe. Tribe Called Quest, that whole De La, all those guys, that was my era, man. That was my time. This new stuff, God bless them. God bless them. But I guess I'm too old for this stuff. But that whole time was a magical time, man. That was a time where I could, we would dance so damn hard, we'd be sweating and just well, I don't know why we thought we were going to meet girls, sweating the way we were sweating, but leaders of the new school, Dre back then, all that stuff was, that was just a magical time for me. So yeah.
Oh no! It's the classic. It's the lyricism. It's the storytelling. It's the context within the song.
Yeah.
I definitely love that. That's one of the reasons, again, going back to Boondocks, but like that intro kicked it off so perfect, because it was like, yes, this is exactly what we expected. And then the last thing about the Boondocks is I think that they hit the voices perfectly. We recently on our podcast, for Black History Month, we was talking about just like cartoons and animations that shaped our culture. And we talked about the Boondocks, and I was a huge fan of the comic strip. And I said, when we talked about it, I said, when it got animated, the funny thing about it is every voice was exactly how I envisioned it. And I thought that was just like amazing, because I was like, yeah, Huey, Riley, like every voice that was from the comic that was portrayed on the show is exactly how I portrayed what it would sound like. And I think that was just amazing casting put together with that. And again, it really showed let you guys shine, because then you got to do the complete opposite of Tom Dubois with Colonel Stinkmeaner.
Yeah. But that's I'll shout out to Magruder again, because he was very integral in finding those voices, during the casting process. So it was casting directors and, everyone was very, very, very much involved in what that was. And it was weird. My audition process was strange because I had a weird agent at the time. And they never told me that this was an animated series. So I was a fan of the Boondocks. So I thought it was a live
adaptation
show that they were doing. So I went in dressed as Tom Dubois. I had my suit, tie, came in, memorized my lines. And when I come in, I'm about to start my audition and they're going to read with me. And they got their heads down, They're just kind of, I'm like, well, this is rude. They're not even looking at me while I'm doing my audition. So I went in, did it. So they were, of course they were just listening to my voice, and apparently I was acting my ass off, and I sounded enough like him at the time. So that's how I got it. But it was crazy, doing that process. The people that were, I won't reveal who was auditioning, but these were people that I grew up watching, and and music stars and people, everyone knew about the anime, the cartoon, or the comic strip. And so all kinds of amazing talent were coming in to audition for this thing. And that was great. Also, you brought up Stink Meaner, because I wasn't originally supposed to do that. They wanted someone very popular to do that character, and I was doing the table read. I volunteered to read Stink Meaner, and I came up with this voice for him, which was a little I grew up in the 80s, so Schoolhouse Rock was a big.
Yeah, I was about to ask about that, because you said Jack Sheldon was one of your inspirations growing up. And
yes, Jack Sheldon, big influence on me. Amazing jazz musician, but a white dude who had this soul kind of thing about him, And as a kid, that just brightened my head. Like, people can sound any kind of way, and that really made me fall in love with voiceover work, and being able to try to do all kinds of things. So Jack Sheldon was definitely an influence on that voice, but try to make him even just dirtier and nasty. It just is awful. So that's where that came from. But then again, Magruder and his infinite wisdom was like, you know what, let's scrap that celebrity. Let's keep this in house. Cedric's already got it. He's doing something that I didn't even think about.
I love how organic that is, because that's the same story. If I'm not mistaken, Carl Jones said that's exactly how he ended up being Thugnificent, where he was supposed to be somebody else. And he did that at the table read, and they was like, all right, well, we're gonna roll with you. So I love that. Like that just to me shows that, like, that crew behind the scenes that was putting the show together was truly in it. Like, we're doing it for the best of the show. It's not just about the name. It's about what's for the character in the show. And, if they're able to hear that and see that, like, I love that. And that's, like I said, I can talk about Boondocks all day, man. I like, there's two shows that I know front to back, end to end. I can, like, it's The Wire and Boondocks. Those are up there with me. But another cult following that you are a part of, Reno 911, which is this mega house show. I always often ask, when people have like two mega hits, like shows like you have, what, like, and you see a lot of times people have like catchphrase or something like that. What gets yelled at you the most? Do people like mimic Stink Meaner and yell at you the most, or do they yell at stuff from Reno 911 the most?
Man, that's difficult, man. It depends on who I'm running into. And it always shocks me who watches those shows. I mean, older white women, they're a toss-up sometimes. You never know that. oh yeah, I guess money. You know, they're like, wait, what? You know, some stink meter stuff, which is crazy. Younger white men definitely know Reno, boy. They will sing, and the installation is free to me. You know, that's my when Gary Coleman was upset with what's happening, Willis. Yeah, that's I understand that. I get that. Yeah, because and the installation is free. I get that a lot. But people really enjoy that show. I'm happy that to announce that the show is coming back. We shot another season during COVID. So we've been sitting on it for a little while. It's pretty ridiculous. And it'll be out in February. So please.
Let you know, like y'all was not the reason that Quibi fell. Y'all was the reason that Quibi was doing popping, because I was like, all right. And when Quibi came out, I'm like, okay, well, I'm like, Reno coming back, so I'm gonna get it for that. And then all the other stuff that was dope on it, I was like, oh, this is like a happy, surprise. But like legit, my subscription and a lot of people I know subscription was like, all right, we're gonna get Quibi because we gotta watch these Reno.
Yes, yeah, and a lot of people, I guess people were shocked because it was still really good and we still care a lot about the show. And so people didn't really realize how committed we were going to be when we came back. We were going to come back hard, And so it's been so much fun coming back because we've all had these other experiences. Wendy's on the Goldbergs. I'm on the Goldbergs with her right now, but Niecy has gone on to do all kinds of great things. Tom Lennon's doing stuff. Carlos Alazraki does all tons of voiceover work. Everyone's doing, Joe Latruglio is doing all kinds of, everyone's doing stuff. So when we come back, it's like we have these super powered Avenger powers, that we're like ready and crazy ready for improv. So to come back to do it for Quibi was super fun. And now that we have a whole other season that's so damn funny. We have an episode that that's Jones, my character Jones, has a grant from Reno to do a Juneteenth celebration, and so it's this Jones-teenth, and he's got this one-man show that's it's so stupid and so fun. I'm really excited for people to see that particular episode, but the whole season is so damn funny. I can't wait for people to see this new thing.
And that's, I think, with the cast of Reno and the brilliantness and the comedic brilliantness that you guys have, I think that's what we love about that show a lot too. Is just like you can see the improv, like you can tell, like, okay, yeah, they gave Cedric the keys and said, go ahead and do your thing and let's see how this comes out. And then during this process of me doing these interviews, I got to interview a lot of comedians. And so I start learning about punch-ups and stuff like that. So it's like, now I can tell, like, oh, okay, yeah, I bet you like this is a Cedric idea, and then the punch-ups come from everybody else, and then the characters. I'm like, it just love so what goes into that show. And I think, yeah, that's with Quibi. Like going into it, knowing that there's short episodes that that we were getting on Quibi, it didn't feel like that. You know how like with Adult Swim, when they was putting out those shows that were 15-minute shows like Aqua Teen Hunger Force and stuff like that, and you didn't feel shorthanded on the comedy. You feel like more. That's how we you know, because it was like, oh, it came back, and they actually came back. Like, this is not just a quick, let's throw something together for Quibi. This was like, this is Reno 911, and it was like, it was just so dope, man. So it was like, yeah.
We shot it the same way. We kept the same perspective. We kept it the same tone, and we just shot it. You know, even though it was shorter, we didn't want to shorten the folks with, you know, with what we could do, with what the comedy could be. Quibi was not a good idea. It was not a good idea, but a lot of the stuff that came out of it was really cool. So we are on Roku, you know, for the new season, and we just had Reno 911: The Hunt for QAnon. That's on Paramount Plus, but the new season will be on Roku, and I'm really, you know, I'm ecstatic.
I'm excited for you and excited for that as well. So another question that I love to ask for people who play so many iconic characters, and it's funny because, like, okay, I have a go-to of what I think your two would go to, but I always say, if you can take two of your characters from any show and put them in a buddy cop movie, what two characters would you pick?
A buddy cop movie.
Yep.
I think, you know, you put Jones in there because he is a cop, you know, that's gotta, but to offset that and make the funny, I mean, Stinkmeaner and Jones, to me, seems like that just makes the most sense. That's the silliest movie, I think, you know. One that's sort of competent. He kind of knows how to be a cop, but he's, you know, more into fucking and you know, meeting white girls and whatever. And then Stinkmeaner is just fuck all of it. I just want to destroy the world. So that those two could be good, you know, something like that.
Going Jones and Officer Meow Meow, and that's I was. That's what I was originally thinking. I was like, they're both already in the police.
They're already in it. Yeah, yes, they're already in it. I mean, hey, I do. You know, I'm in Paradise PD too, so there's another. That's another cop role that I've done. You were talking about the keys. You know, getting the keys and feeling like, yeah, okay, let me get this comedy going and happening. I want to shout out Bernie Mac, man. Bernie fucking Mac was one of my keys for sure. I got to do a guest star appearance on his show, and he was so cool with me. We didn't know each other, but I auditioned for the role. He saw my tape and laughed. He told me he laughed at it, and he just said, "Go, young man, please bring that comedy to the show." It's my show, so I know I'm gonna get my buckets. I'm gonna get my threes up, but I need people like yourself to bring the comedy, you know, to the show. And, you know, I had worked with some people that aren't particularly that way, you know. They want to be the funniest. They want to make sure, you know, they are the funniest damn thing, you know, perceived. But Bernie was never like that, man. He was so generous, you know, and those are one of the things that made me feel like, okay, I'm welcome here. I can go forward and go as far as I possibly can, be as funny as I possibly can. Cedric the Entertainer was also that way with me as well. You know, doing his show, those two in particular, they know they're gonna dunk. They know they're gonna get their threes in. But you know, this is a team effort. We need you too, and those were definite keys to making me feel like, okay, I can do this.
I wonder if that's an OG thing, because I've been hearing that about Damian Wayans and them, like, you know, like when they're running a show, or even if they're the star of the show, when they bring other comedians on, they let people go. I remember hearing a story about like when Cat Williams was on Damian Wayans' show, and Damon said, do your thing, let you go. And I wonder, is that, you know, like that older generation of comedians, because you said Bernie Mac, Cedric Entertainer, like from that era. And it truthfully, if you think about all the really brilliant shows, comedic shows, they are the shows where they allow people especially, you know, people who know their craft, like, you know, such as yourself, like, you know what's going to bring the best out of you. So allowing you to be you, you know, yeah, we can do it. We'll have the takes, but like allowing you to be you is truly going to get the best performance and the best for the show. So like, I'm glad that they did allow that, because again, like I said, both of those shows, your guest appearance on those were hilarious. Like, I vividly remember them. So it's just like, yeah, to allow you to do that, like that got to be a dope feeling, especially somebody that like you said, you look up to, like, hey man, I grew up listening to your comedy albums or watching you on Def Comedy Jam or BET Comic View or whatever the case may be, and letting them, and knowing that they, like you said, you made them laugh. And then also you made them laugh to the point they said, you know what, I trust you, do you. Like, that got to be really amazing feeling for your craft personally too.
Definitely, bro. Definitely. It made me feel welcome. It made me feel like, okay, I'm qualified definitely to do this. He's given me permission. He's given me the keys to the car, you know, drive, go. And I've carried that with me, you know, since with whatever I do, whether it be voiceover work, whether it be on camera stuff, whether it be my live shows, you know, Bernie said, yeah, Bernie told me it's okay.
That's dope. That's dope. All right, so I got 3 more questions and I get you out of here. But with it being Black History Month, I do want to ask you. So I started doing something, and I am putting it out this throughout the month of February. Is what does Black History Month mean to you? Brought to you by the Blerd community. I asked over 30 Blerds and all walks of life, and I can't wait to put this collaborative video out. But I started thinking, I'm like, that is a really great question. And with you, you know, especially coming from Minnesota, and you know, seeing everything that's been going on with the world and everything, and your walk of life, I do want to get, what does Black History Month mean to you?
Yeah, well, Black History means to me, it makes me proud, man. I always have been proud, but when I think about you know, our history, you know, not just American history, but what Africans have endured in coming to this country, and to see what we have accomplished, what we have done, it just swells me with pride, and it makes me, you know, just damn proud to be who I am and come from where I come from. That our culture is the culture. We have you know, we have shown the way of through entertainment, through business, through science. We're in everything, man, and we're undeniable. Our history is undeniable, and you know, our history is American history. But I think, you know, particularly with Black history, it's an amazing time to reflect, pause, read about you know, some of our you know, some of the people that have paved our way. It's, I don't know, it just, again, like I said, Black history just makes me, it swells me with pride. I'm just, it makes me just so damn happy to be a Black person, and you know, continue our Black perspective in entertainment. You know, and I'm very proud that I get to have a voice in the way people see us.
Yeah, thank you for that, man. Yeah, you know, it's funny because like what's dope is that, like I said, I've been having these conversations with so many people, and it's been such a dope journey having this conversation with people, because everybody, like they you can hear in their voice that proudness. And it's like, even though people knew that they was about to do this quick segment with me about it, it's still, once you think about that question, it really hits. Like, you, like everybody, I thought that was really dope that we got that from there. So yeah, thank you for that. All right, so I have 2 segments that we do with all guests that I want to do. All right. So the first guest that I do is top 5. Now, you come from the improv world. I want to get top 5 improv, and it doesn't have to be in order. It doesn't have to be. It can be currently, but just top 5 improv actors for you.
Top 5 improv actors. Wow. Okay. It might have a little bit of bias because I've worked with a lot of them, and yeah, I've worked with a lot of people that are amazing at what they do. Okay, so do I have to put them in order, or can I just put them all up in there?
All up.
Okay, Gary Anthony. I mean, I'm gonna put the Black version show in one.
Okay.
And I hope where are you even podcasting from, bro? Where are you?
I'm a Midwest guy just like yourself, man.
Where?
Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Oh, Wisconsin. Oh, okay. Yes, definitely. I would hope that we will get to go to Wisconsin, or maybe do a tour in the future where we all get to see us. But if you're in the LA area, I would love for y'all to come on out and check us out. It's the funniest improv show that's out there. It is. And there's Black folk, so it's dangerous and scary, but fun. And that's what live theater is supposed to be. It's supposed to be really enlightening and fun, and a little bit like, oh, damn, that's happening right now. So I would say the Black version and all those actors up there. That's one. Will Ferrell, funny, man. His commitment is hysterical. He's great. He's just a fun dude to work with. He's all those things that you want him to be. He is. He actually is. Really great actor. As a group, Reno 911. All those actors are so damn funny. Carlos Alazraqui, also one of the funniest guys out there. So damn funny, so damn quick-witted. Tom Lennon, brilliant. Wendy McClendon Covey, come on, man. She's killing it out the Goldbergs. They realize they got Babe Ruth. Yeah. Give her the ball. Let her go, because she will kill it. She's an amazing improviser. So that whole group too. Another, God, man, I've worked with Dustin Hoffman.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Dustin Hoffman was so damn funny. I got to work with De Niro and Dustin Hoffman in Meet the Fockers. There's a scene where he and I were just going, and I don't know where it is. It didn't make it in the movie. Yeah, but there we got to go. We got to improvise and mess around, and Hoffman was hysterical. Hilarious, man. Dude, he was so ready, so fun. I had a great time with him. He's a really fantastic improviser.
Okay.
One more. Man, trying to think who else I've improvised with that went toe to toe. God, there's so many. You know who I'm going to shout out right now is Edie Patterson. I'm just going to throw Edie Patterson out there. She's on The Righteous Gemstones right now.
Okay.
She plays a character named Judy on there, and she's so damn funny. She's really, really, really great. And she's up and coming. She's been around a minute. She's a groundling. I think you're going to see more of her. But she's a brilliant improvising actress, and I want to put another female out there. So yeah,
with Danny McBride, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yes. John Goodman. It's a brilliant show, but she's just a funny person and an amazing improviser. I'm missing so many people that this isn't fair.
It's not, but I mean that's why we always do like the top 5, and it's always like. All right, so let's do a fun top 5. You sing a lot in a lot of things that you do. I want to get top 5 artists for you. And it doesn't
top 5 artists. Yep. Top 5 artists right now. And
again, it doesn't have to be in order.
Doesn't have to be or in order. I mean, Prince, Michael, Stevie. We're talking artists of all time? Damn, man. What's these questions? I mean, these are hard, damn
We go
questions.
hard-hitted questions.
They're hard. I mean, fuck. Tina.
Ooh, nice one. Nice one.
I mean, damn it.
I said this was the fun one. This is just as hard.
This is excruciating. Because what if I get a call from Stevie Wonder, man? And they're like, yo, did you list me as 3? You know, like.
It's not in order. We said it's not in order.
Oh, man. And I'm trying to think of someone new that I could throw in, but they're not as good as the old ones. So sorry. Damn it. You know, Whitney's in my brain, you know, so I'm just going to say Whitney, but I mean, there's just so many damn artists. I have learned, I don't know if you can see over here, I got a piano back there in that corner. And during the pandemic, I've been teaching myself how to play, you know. So I love music, and so I've always wanted to learn the language of music, and you know, I can play throat a little bit, but I don't know anything about, you know, the mechanics of making music, and so I've been learning and teaching myself, and you know, I just mad respect to musicians and what they can do.
What's your go-to right now on the piano? That's like, okay, like when you tell somebody like I've been practicing, and then the one that you break out, like I can break this out real quick. What's your go-to?
My go-to right now is Clair de Lune by Debussy.
Okay.
You might know it from what's that movie with the heist movie, Ocean's 11. At the end of Ocean's 11, there's a beautiful song that I've been playing. I've been playing that. I've been playing the theme from Free Willy.
Oh, nice. Of course.
Little Michael. Yeah, I've been playing a little bit of baby, baby, baby. What's it gonna be? Been playing a little Prince. Yeah. So I got a go-to. You know, I'm a single dude, so I gotta make sure I got a little, you know, when ladies come on through, I gotta be a little. Don't you believe?
You gotta start doing like how Jamie did it. Remember, Jamie Foxx used to break it out during his comedy, like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
exactly, man. And it was always so impressive. Like, what? He can do that? And that's another thing, you know. You never know with something like this. Maybe I'll be able to incorporate it in my work and be able to use it in something, you know, that, you know, might translate in my live action career. So, you know.
And when you do, I'm gonna clip this part of the interview, and then I'm gonna play that clip like you heard it here first. He said,
when you was playing Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, that's where I was there. Damn it.
I was right there. All right. So last thing, just it could be a recommendation, but anything that you're watching, reading, listening to, but something that you think that our viewers and listeners should check out.
I'm reading Sidney Poitier's book right now. It's fantastic. I've been also reading Will Smith's new book. I am watching Ozark. Loving that. I love drama. You know, that's where I come from. I come from drama, doing, you know, from theater, and so I'm a big proponent of drama. I'm a big Breaking Bad guy. You know, love stuff like that. I love when they can write something for someone and they're in a corner and you don't think they'll ever get out of it, but the writers are so damn smart that they've already got a plan for how they get out of this thing. I love that kind of writing. You know, I hope to be able to do.
The world for you to do something like that, right? Like right now, everybody says, like, you think about a lot of the comedians who are playing killer dramatic roles, and yeah, there's been talk. A lot of people are like, yo, Cedric probably would be an amazing villain. Like, you kind of did it with Stink Manor, but like, yeah, the moment when you get your true like and you can show that like I think that'd be like the world's going to stop for that, because we are waiting for that. Because like I said, I think we're in this age where we're seeing comedians, yo, they're way much more than just the funny. And I think it is because, like you said, a lot of comedians do either come from drama, or they had, you know, they came from that theater world, or they are heavily involved in improv. So
let's face it, life is drama. You know, you got to bring something of yourself to be funny. You got to bring comedy to life. So we live drama every day. You know, I know how to do that. That ain't nothing. But when I make you laugh, I'm bringing something to you. So if I can make you cry, if I can, you know, make you believe that I can just have a regular conversation and or threaten someone, then, you know, I think that's just, you know, how a lot of us just kind of, how life is. Comedy is a heightened sense of what life is. And so, hey, from your lips to God's ears, maybe we'll be able to get that dramatic role in and give somebody, you know, threaten some people. Yeah.
All right, man. Well, again, this has been the amazing Deuces. This has been the living legend himself, Cedric Yarbrough, and this is 1-on-1 with Deuces, and we are out. Peace.
Thank you, bro.